So coming into 2024, either we get a financial crisis, rates go to zero, or we keep raising rates, but not as fast as governments are spending money because they're just trying to keep people doing things, and the rates are negative, that we get to crypto around 70,000 by the end of 2024.
정부가 계속 경기 부양을 위해 돈을 쓰고 있고 금리도 내려갈 것이기 때문에 24년 말에 비트코인이 70K 위로 도달할 것이라고 주장하고 있는 인물은 비트맥스 창업자 아서 헤이즈입니다. 헤이즈는 크립토 시장의 고인물이자 거시적인 뷰에 대한 전망이 그 누구보다도 적중률이 높았던 인물인 만큼 크립토 시장 핵심 플레이어인 아서 헤이즈가 생각하는 향후 전반적인 크립토 시장의 분위기와 하반기 비트코인의 가격에 대한 그의 디테일한 인사이트에 대해서 함께 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
So I have to ask, where do you think Bitcoin is going? Is this something that, breaks 100,000? Is this something that breaks 1 million? Is Michael Saylor going to be a hero or the world's biggest L? What do you think?
So coming into 2024, either we get a financial crisis, rates go to zero, or we keep raising rates, but not as fast as governments are spending money because they're just trying to keep people doing things, and the rates are negative, that we get to crypto around 70,000 by the end of 2024. Maybe there's going to be, a few ETFs launched by large asset managers in the US and Europe and China, or maybe Hong Kong to be specific. So we regain the all-time high by the end of 2024, and that's when the real fun starts. That's when the real bull market starts. And so my mental model for where we could go, I think we're going to go somewhere between $750,000 to $1 million in Bitcoin on the upside. Just because, again, I believe this is going to be the largest bull market in financial assets we have ever seen in human history. So not only will Bitcoin be at a ridiculous price, NASDAQ will be at a ridiculous price. S&P will be at a ridiculous price. Pick your, stock indice wherever if you're not in the Europe or the US, that'll be at a ridiculous price. Certain types of property, ridiculous prices. So we're going to have a lot of ridiculous prices out there, and not just in crypto.
Yeah, that will be a weird moment. And with people thinking that the party is never going to end, of course, it always does. Let me ask you, so that I can help better understand the sort of way that this all plays out at the global level. What is with Hong Kong and crypto? China clamped down really hard. It seemed like that was a really bad sign for me. I was like, whoa, this was the thing that I was concerned about, that a government would be able to effectively eliminate it from its country.
They've never eliminated crypto from China. So if you want to think about from the Chinese government perspective, the thing that they care most about is social stability, right? And so as everyone becomes a speculator because they're desperate, right? The last thing they want is a bunch of mom and pops rolling up and gathering in groups with a communal grievance. It could be crypto, it could be anything, right? We know how this story has played out over Chinese history. They do not like this. And so seeing that, that could cause disturbance in China, and also you have the energy aspect of Bitcoin mining, consuming a lot of electricity that could be used to do other things. They basically made it very hard to trade it. Chinese people still own Bitcoin. That hasn't changed. You can't mine it. There's no exchanges. Fine, they can't really acquire it. But at the end of the day, I think the Chinese government sees that this is a technologically sound thing, and they want more of it in the Chinese diaspora that they can control. It doesn't necessarily need to be in a government coffer, but the Chinese government thinks if you are Chinese, we own you as a person. Therefore, you are our subject, no matter where you live around the world, ethnically speaking. And so if you think about Hong Kong, which is part of China now, and always was, but now it's very explicitly part of China. But it has this Western Eastern capital meeting point. If they want to experiment in allowing a more general ownership of crypto, or if they want to allow certain types of Chinese individuals to own crypto through Hong Kong regulated financial institutions, which essentially means that they're controlled by the Chinese government in the same way that BlackRock is controlled by the US government. It's no different. Then they're going to allow these companies to buy and hold crypto, because at the end of the day, as long as the crypto is inside of China, they believe that they can control it. So why not let a part of the country experiment with this thing, let people own it, let people buy it by controlling it in terms of the way firms are able to acquire users and let those users own crypto. So that's why there's been licenses issued. The Hong Kong government's very positive on Bitcoin. The Hong Kong government is part of China. Therefore, they would never do this if it was not blessed in Beijing as part of a national prerogative for this particular part of China to be positive on crypto. So it's a similar sort of situation to how I described the BlackRock ETF, right? Larry Fink and BlackRock having $1 trillion of Bitcoin under its custody is the same thing as Bank of China launching an ETF on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange and having $1 trillion of crypto. They're both essentially in the orbit of either the United States or China. And that's the goal. If this technology is as transformative, if it is the hardest money that's ever existed, wouldn't you rather your citizens have it rather than someone else's? And so as the American political establishment decides what they want to do with crypto, and that uncertainty drives companies out of America, out to the rest of the world, China's already gone through that. They've already purged the exchanges, starting in 2017 and culminating in I think 2020, right? Now they've gone the other direction. Okay, let's try to control this. Let's try to permit certain types of ownership through firms that we can control in Hong Kong, which is our testbed region for sort of, financial innovation, and give the Hong Kong economy something to draw in to expertise, foreign capital, because, Chinese government believes in technology. Crypto is the forefront of financial technology. Why not bring these smart people here, let them experiment, and we think we can control what they do, right? So that's, in my opinion, what's behind the Hong Kong story. We're going to see how that progresses. I obviously live in Hong Kong. I love Hong Kong. I hope that there is a vibrant cryptocurrency ecosystem there and that people are able to experiment with different things because there is, a tacit government support for the technology. We'll see what happens at the extreme, if all of a sudden there's all these firms with trillions of dollars worth of crypto, I don't know, but at least there are some people who are given the space to at least experiment and try it versus other places in the world where they're being pushed out and shunned.